Hello everybody, welcome back to another championship predictions video. We're up to game week 4 and this is the final round of fixtures before the first international break of the season. All kicks off on Friday evening at Kenilworth Road where Luton Town take on QPR. Neither of these teams have registered a win so far this season. Luton looking really disappointing at the moment, and losing against Preston North End last weekend was absolutely terrible. QPR, 2 draws on the bounce, a draw against Plymouth last time out. So Rob Edwards really got to sort this Luton team out. I think he will, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 win. Maybe Mark McGuinness coming in at centre back will help them out defensively. We then move on to the first of the Saturday fixtures where we got the Northwest derby there, Burnley against Blackburn Rovers. Not sure if this is still a bubble trip. I don't think it is, but maybe wrong there. Burnley, a load of players going out their door. A loss last week in the top of the table clash against Sunderland, and losing in the Carabao Cup second round against Wolves 2 wasn't good. Blackburn Rovers, decent form early this season. Tough one to call this one. A lot of people think this is going to end up in a draw, but I'm going to give Burnley the benefit of the doubt, even with all the problems with their personnel at the moment. And I'm going to go for maybe a surprising 2-0 win there. Next we're at the Cardiff City Stadium. Again, this one's at 12:30. Cardiff against Middlesbrough. Cardiff playing quite well in the second half against Swansea where they drew 1-1. And Middlesbrough drawing 2-2 against Portsmouth last time out. Difficult one to predict. Cardiff's youngsters lost 5-3 in the Cup against Southampton on Wednesday evening. Really putting a good performance. This one, you know what? I'm going to shock everyone. I'm going to go for a Cardiff City win. I think they'll concede, but I think they'll ultimately end up with a 2-1 victory. Could be a draw though. Then we're at the Rico where Coventry take on Norwich. Only one win between these two sides. Coventry at home, winning in the Carabao Cup midweek. I'm going to go for a Coventry win. And I'm going to go for goals. I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Sky Blues then. We move then across to Pride Park where Derby County take on Bristol City. Derby up and down with their form. Bristol City not losing so far this season. I think they're going to come away with all 3 points in a 1-0 away win. We then move on to Elland Road. Leeds United coming up against Hull. Hull drawing all 3 matches. Leeds' first win of the season last weekend against Sheffield Wednesday. I think they'll follow it up with another 2-0 scoreline over the Tigers. Then we move to the Den down there in London. Millwall against Sheffield Wednesday. Only 1 win for each of these sides as well. You know what? I think this one's going to end up in a draw, 1-1. But it could go either way. Millwall bringing in players now late in the transfer window. We move then to Cassim Stadium, Oxford, where Oxford take on Preston North End. Preston looked terrible, but they did get that win against Luton Town because the new manager, 3rd manager of the season so far. And Blackburn losing 2-1. But what a goal by Mark Harris, smashing it in from, 35 yards. This one, could I edge it to Oxford? No, I'm going to go for a draw in this one. I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. We then move down to the South Coast. Home Park, Plymouth Argyle against Stoke City. Stoke doing well in the Cup midweek. Plymouth drawing. Another tight one to call, but Plymouth are at home. I'm going to go for another draw in this one. I think it's going to end up 0-0. We then move to Fratton Park, South Coast. League leaders Sunderland, excellent win against Burnley last time out. Portsmouth drawing every week, drawing all 3 matches. But you know what? I'm going to go for a home win in this one. I think Sunderland look really good, but I fancy Portsmouth in this one to take all 3 points in a 2-1 victory. Then move to the Hawthorns, where West Brom take on Swansea. Swansea, a fairly strong side they put out midweek in Carabao Cup, losing against Wickham. And the performance against Cardiff, although it was fairly decent in the first half, they didn't really put Cardiff to the sword and didn't have that many chances. West Brom looking decent, haven't lost in the league yet this season. Callum Brandt getting on the score sheet. Bit of a redemption season for him, perhaps, in front of the Hawthorns faithful. So you know what, I'm going to go for a 2-0 home victory to West Brom. We then move to the final fixture of the weekend, Bramall Lane, Sheffield United against Watford. Watford sharing 9 points there with Sunderland top of the table. Sheffield United, bit stuttery. I think I've backed against Watford each and every week so far. Watford okay. I'm going to go for another draw. I'm going to go for... Now let's have some goals in this one. I'm going to go for Desmond's 2-2. So that concludes my predictions for game week 4. Make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website, because back in game week 3, Big Bad Bob had a phenomenal score, coming away with 24 points, 5 perfect scores. Joining him on 5 perfect scores as well was Newton Abbey, 11, but slightly less in the overall score of 21.5 points. And that massive haul by Big Bad Bob propelled him up 22 positions up into first place. Gets the yellow cap for his efforts, 36.5 points, 2 points ahead of Jamie 2002 and another point ahead of Newton Abbey 11 on 33.5 points. So once again, in summary, those are my predictions for game week 4. As I said, leave your predictions over the Superbru website. All the details are in the description. Thanks for joining me. Enjoying this final game week before the international break, and I'll see you all next time.